Hello students, in the last class we have seen some of the important concepts related to the hydrocarbon, that is general information, some of the uses, that is day-to-day uses of hydrocarbons. Along with that, we have seen the different classifications of hydrocarbons, that is saturated, unsaturated, as well as aromatic hydrocarbons. So further, we have also seen the information regarding to the alkanes. So alkanes are the substances which are generally called as saturated hydrocarbons, which are having the carbon-carbon single bond. And also we have seen the general molecular formula of alkanes, that is CnH2n plus 2. Along with that, we have seen some of the important preparation of alkanes with the help of conversion of unsaturated hydrocarbons into saturated hydrocarbons. Second one is by alkyl halide reactions, and third one is by carboxylic acid, that is also called as decarboxylation reaction. Right. So after that, we'll go with the extended part of the same hydrocarbons, that is conformations in case of hydrocarbons. So conformations are nothing but the special arrangement of atoms, so which can be converted into one another by the rotation of carbon-carbon single bond, are called as conformations, are also called as conformers, are also called as rotamers. Right. So observe the word here. Conformations are nothing but the different shapes, so that can be obtained on the rotation of the carbon-carbon bond. So if you observe here, so if I take this as a carbon-carbon bond, so this tip or this end represents the carbon atom, and this end also represents the carbon atom. So if I twist this bond, so what will be the shape of the molecule, right? So if I twist like this, what will be the shape of the molecule, right? So therefore the shape of the molecules or the arrangement of the atoms, so which can be converted into one another by the rotation around the carbon-carbon single bond, so that is generally called as conformations, or they are also called as conformers, or they are also called as rotamers. Right. So if you observe the different kinds of conformations in case of ethane molecule, if you take an example, ethane, the molecular formula of ethane is C2H6. So in case of C2H6, so if I twist the carbon-carbon single bond, what kind of the different shapes or conformations we can obtain, right? So here, so in this, the conformation in which hydrogen atom is attached to two carbon atoms that are close to each other, the two carbon atoms that are close to each other are possible called as, right? So as possible called as, so that is eclipsed form. And if the carbon atom, so we have twisted in such a way that so the hydrogen is far apart from another hydrogen atom, so that is called as staggered form, which means overall it explains that there are two types of conformations. So one is called as eclipse form, so another one is called as staggered form. So in case of eclipse form, what happens? The hydrogen atom attached to the carbon atom. So the two carbon atoms are too close to each other. Both the carbon atoms are too close to each other. So then they are termed as, the eclipsed form. If there are two carbon atoms which are far away from each other, then they are called as staggered forms. So generally, if you observe the structure of this ethane molecule, so that is C2H6. So there are two types of projection formulas. One is called as a Sohas projection formula. Second one we call it as a Newman's projection formula. Right. So one is called as Sohas projection formula. So here if you observe in Sohars, there are two types of structure. One is called as eclipse structure. Second one is called as staggered structure. So why it is called as eclipse form? Because the carbon-carbon is very near. Right. So if you observe here, the carbon-carbon are very near. And in case of staggered form, the carbon-carbon atom are far away from each other. If you observe, so in a general case, so we'll do a bit of rough work here. So in case of ethane molecule, so that is ethane molecule, right? Sorry, this is ethane molecule, that is C2H6. If you take an example of C2H6, so generally there are two types of conformation. One is called as eclipsed form, right? So second one is called as staggered form, right? So in eclipse form, what happens? The carbon are near to each other, right? So it looks very near to each other. So whenever the carbon bond are far away, right, so we'll get the structure of staggered form. So therefore there are two types of conformation. One is called as eclipse form and second one is called as staggered form. So in case of conformation, mainly there are two types. So one is called as Sohars projection formula. So one is called as Sohars projection formula, right? So second one is called as Newman's projection formula. right? So we'll call it as Newman projection, right? So these are the two types of projections which can be observed in case of C2H6, right? So here if you observe, so generally we'll get the structure of C2H6 like this. Carbon is single bonded, further it is bonded with a 3 hydrogen atom, right? So here it is hydrogen and hydrogen for the first carbon atom, hydrogen and hydrogen for the second carbon atom. Therefore we have written C2H6, carbon are 2, hydrogen are 6, right? So in the Sahas projection formula, if you observe here, so I can write this carbon atom. So this point represents carbon atom and this also represents carbon atom. So there is a single bond between this carbon and this carbon. There is a single bond between this carbon and this carbon. So here the arrangement is in such a way that, so this carbon has one hydrogen here, one hydrogen here and one hydrogen here. So this is also similar. One hydrogen here, one hydrogen here and one hydrogen here, right? So this structure, right? So this also represents carbon atom, right? So the same structure I have twisted in like this, right? So this structure, right? So it was like this. This was a linear structure. It looks like this, right? So this example was written in the plane of paper like this. So this I have twisted like this, right? So then what happens? You can clearly visible. So there is an visibility for the two carbon atoms and the further hydrogen atoms were like this. So these are the two hydrogen atoms like this, right? So with this, the two hydrogen atoms like this and below one, right? So below one, or you can write above one, right? So this represents the 3 hydrogen atom for the carbon atom, right? So therefore, so here the carbon looks very nearer to the each other. So therefore, this structure is called as eclipsed form. This is called as eclipsed form, right? So if you write this same diagram in the reverse way, one of the carbon atom, if you twist this, if I twist this, right? So if I twist like this, right? So if I twist like this, so then what happens? This one carbon will be reversed. So this one carbon will be rotated. Observe here, I will draw this. Again, we will take two carbon atom. So there are two carbon atom here, which are connected with a single bond, this carbon and carbon. So one carbon is in the same way, which is bonded with 3 hydrogen atom and one carbon, observe here. So this looks opposite. This looks opposite. Here the hydrogen and hydrogen. Observe here. Below there were 2 hydrogen atom, above only 1 hydrogen atom. But whenever you twist this bond, right? So whenever you twist this bond like this, right? So then what happens? So the second carbon atom has 2 hydrogen above and 1 hydrogen below. And this form is generally called as a staggered form. Right? So this is called as staggered because the carbon that is far away, right? So whenever it is nearer to each other, we'll call it as eclipsed form. Whenever it is far away from each other, we'll call it as staggered form. Right? Similarly, if you see in case of the Newman projection formula. So in case of Newman projection formula, what happens? So this is a circle which looks like a carbon. So this is completely a carbon atom. So one side, right? So there is an presence of hydrogen atom here. And the second is also on the same plane. This is a hydrogen and hydrogen. So this carbon atoms both are in the same, it looks like this, right? So I can draw here. This one is carbon atom, this one is carbon atoms. So if it is like this, right? So this is called as a Newman, right? So this is called as Newman, right? So here both carbon atom are nearer to each other. So observe here. So this is not, the second carbon atom is not on the, right? So paper, because here you cannot visualize that one because it is like this. So if you write, this is 2-dimensional diagram, this is 3-dimensional because you can observe here from all the angles. So this is the exact diagram which can be drawn like this because from the backside of this there is one more ring. It is not visualized on the paper, but backside of this ring, so there is one more ring here. So therefore, so that also has 3 hydrogen atoms for that carbon atom. So therefore, so there is an distance between carbon is same. It is somewhat quite less. So therefore, it is nearer to the both the carbon atom. This carbon atom both are nearer to each other. So then you will get this kind of structure that is called as eclipse form. That is called as eclipse form. So if you rotate this one, so if I rotate this like this continuously, then what happens? So this circle represents the carbon atom and this represents the hydrogen atom, hydrogen and hydrogen. Whenever you rotate this, what happens? It will convert like this. right? So observe here, the difference is, right? So this looks like this, right? So like this. So this is different, right? So therefore, there is one more ring here. You cannot visualize on the plane of paper. So it will be initially like this. So I have written in the two-dimensional diagram. So therefore here if you observe, you can clearly observe all the hydrogen. So here it's a bit difficult because both are in the same direction, which means they are nearer to each other. We'll call it as eclipse form. When they are far away from each other, we'll call it as a staggered form. Right? So therefore there are two types of conformations. Conformations are nothing but the arrangement of atoms, right? So there is a regular arrangement of atoms, so which is called as conformations, and that conformation can be obtained only on the rotation of the carbon-carbon single bond. So therefore there are two types of projections. One is called as Saha's projection. In that there are two types. One is called as eclipse form, another one is called as staggered form. So in the second type there are two types again. So that is Newman projection. One is called as eclipse form, another one is called a staggered form. This can be asked for 2 marks in the annual examination. Write the or draw the Saha's projection formula or Newman's projection formula. You must draw both. So if they ask Saha's projection formula, you must draw eclipsed also as well as staggered also. And if they ask Newman's projection formula, you must draw both eclipsed form also as well as staggered form also. So after the completion of the first part, that is alkanes, we'll move on to the next concept, that is alkenes. So in case of alkenes, are generally called as unsaturated hydrocarbons containing at least one double bond. Observe here. So in case of alkanes, alkenes are ending with E and E. Alkanes were ending with A and E. That is a major difference, right? So here alkanes were ending with A and E and alkenes were ending with E and E. So in alkenes, so these are also called as unsaturated hydrocarbons, so which contains at least one double bond. If there is a presence of one double bond, then it is surely called as alkenes. The general formula for alkenes is CnH2n. But in case of alkanes, we have seen the general formula was CnH2n plus 2. Remember that one. In case of alkanes, it was CnH2n plus 2. But in case of alkenes, it is having the general formula of CnH2n. Right? And the third important point is alkenes are also known as olefins. We have seen the alkanes are also called as paraffins, but the alkenes are also called as olefins, or it is also called as oil forming. Since the first member, that is ethylene or it is ethene, that is C2H4, was found to be formed an oily liquid on reaction with chlorine. Whenever this C2H4, that is ethene, was reacted with chlorine, it form a oily liquid. So therefore these are also called as olefins, right? So whenever you compare alkenes as well as alkanes, alkanes were ending with A and E, alkenes were ending with E and E. Second one is alkanes were saturated hydrocarbons and alkenes were unsaturated, so that is double bonded. Alkanes were single bonded. So general formula of alkanes is CnH2n plus 2, but the general formula of alkenes is CnH2n. It's only CnH2n. So alkanes were also called as paraffins, but here in case of alkenes, it is also called as olefins. Olefins are nothing but oil forming substances. So further, if you see the structure of double bond, already we know that. So carbon-carbon is a double bonded in case of alkenes and consists of one sigma bond and it consists of one pi bond, right? So the molecule, in the compounds of the alkenes, so always consist of one sigma bond as well as one pi bond because there are two bonds, right? So the structure, right? So the alkenes can easily attacked by the reagent or the compounds, so which are search of electron. Such reagents are called as electrophilic reagent, which means so these alkenes consist of a pi bond or pi electron, so that can be easily donated to any of the molecule which requires. So therefore this can easily attack or this can easily react with another molecules or reagents. So such molecules which accepts the electron from these alkenes are generally electrophilic reagents, are generally called as electrophilic. So if you see the structure of C2H4, if you observe the structure of C2H4, it looks like this. So here the carbon-carbon is double bonded and further both the carbons are bonded with two hydrogen atom. Observe here the carbon-carbon is double bonded and both the carbons are bonded with the hydrogen atom. So in which one is sigma bond, another one is pi bond, right? So out of two bonds, one is called as sigma bond, another one is called as pi bond, because already we have seen the carbon is double bonded because it is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Whenever there is an unsaturated hydrocarbon, there will be a double bond or a triple bond. Here in case of alkenes, we are having the carbon-carbon double bond. If there is double bond means there are two bonds. So in that two bonds, out of two bonds, one will be sigma bond, another one is called as pi bond. So therefore we can represent it as carbon-carbon double bond. So one will be sigma bond, another one will be pi bond. And carbon is bonded with the two hydrogen on the right hand side, and the first carbon atom which is on the left hand side is also bonded with the two hydrogen atom. So further, if you go for the nomenclature of the alkenes, already we have seen the nomenclature in case of organic chemistry, that chapter. So here also we can see one time. So if you observe here, there are three carbon atom, we will call it as propene. We'll call it as propene because whenever there is a chain of three carbon atom, we'll call it as propene. If there are four, we'll call it as butene. If there are five, we'll call it as pentane, like this. We have seen that one. So since there are three carbon atoms here, so observe, so there is a presence of double bond here. Since there is a presence of double bond, we have to use the suffix "ene" because it resembles to the alkenes, right? It resembles to the word alkene. So therefore we have to use the "ene." If it is single bond, we would have used propane, ANE. Since it is a double bond here, in the last carbon atom, we have to use it as propene. And if you observe here, CH3, CH2, CH and CH2. Here there is a double bond, right? So here there is a double bond. Observe here there is a double bond, right? So this double bond represents, so since there are four carbon atoms, we call it as butene, right? So here we will specifically call it as a but-1-ene because, so if you number from here, this is first carbon atom, second carbon atom, third carbon atom, fourth carbon atom, right? So at the first carbon atom, there is a presence of a double bond. We will call it as but-1-ene, right? So in this third example, if you observe, so here it is an double bond at the second carbon atom. So if you number, it is 1, 2, 3 and 4. So therefore here, so at the second carbon atom, so there is a formation of double bond. We can call it as a but-2-ene, right? So if it has the first carbon atom and the last carbon atom, that is third carbon atom, we can call it as but-1,3-diene because there are two double bonds here. So that is called as diene, right? And the last example, C2, double bonded C, and there is a branching. So if you number this side, so we'll get 2-methyl at the second position. If you number from here, that is called as 2-methyl prop-1-ene, prop-1-ene. So therefore, so here you can observe the nomenclature can be done in this way, right? So if you have any doubts regarding to the nomenclature, please go through the previous video which we have explained the nomenclature in case of the organic chemistry, that is some basic principles in organic chemistry chapter, and be thorough with that, and further it will be easy for even second POC also. Nomenclature is very important even for the competitive exams like CET as well as JEE, right? So if there are three carbon atoms, we will call it as propane. Since it is double bonded here, we will have to call it as propene. And here in the second example, if you observe, at the first carbon atom, there is a presence of double bond and there is a 4 carbon atoms here. So we have to call it as but-1-ene. So in the third example, at the second position of the carbon atom, there is double bond. So it is called as but-2-ene. In the fourth example, at the both the ends, there is a double bond. So therefore, we have to call it as but-1,3-diene. Di because there are two double bonds, diene. So in the fifth example, we'll call it as 2-methyl. At the second position, there is a methyl group. And since there are 3 chains in the parent chain, that is the longest chain. So we'll call it as prop-1-ene. Prop, the first carbon atom, there is a double bond. We'll call it as prop-1-ene. Like this, the nomenclature can be done in case of alkenes. And further, if you go for the isomerization or isomerism, isomerism is generally called as the molecules or the compounds having same molecular formula but differ in their physical or chemical properties. If any of the physical and chemical properties are different and if the molecular formula is same, then those are called as isomers, right? So generally alkenes show the two types of isomerism. One is called as structural isomerism, second one is called as geometrical isomerism. First one is called as structural, second one is called as geometrical isomers. In case of alkanes also, we have seen the isomers. So that is called as chain isomers. We have seen the chain isomers in that, which means the molecular formula was same, but the chain was different. The branching was different. So therefore, those were called as chain isomers. And in case of alkenes, we have to see. So there are two types of isomers. One is called as structural isomers. Second one is called as geometrical isomers. Right. So this is the basic information regarding with the alkenes. So we'll find some of the differences between alkanes and alkenes. So in case of alkanes and in case of alkenes, the major important difference in case of alkanes and alkenes, so that is differences, right? So the first important difference is, so in case of alkanes, so the word alkane is ending with A and E. The word alkane is ending with A and E, but in case of alkene it is ending with E and E. Observe here, this is a major difference. Second one is, so in case of alkane, so it is called as a saturated hydrocarbon. Saturated hydrocarbon, but in case of alkenes it is unsaturated hydrocarbon. That is unsaturated hydrocarbon. And in case of alkanes, the carbon-carbon was a single bond. The carbon-carbon was a single bond. And in case of alkenes, the carbon-carbon is double bond. Carbon-carbon is double bond. And there is only presence of one sigma bond. There is only presence of one sigma bond. And here there is a one sigma bond along with one pi bond is present. So in case of alkenes, observe carefully. So there is a presence of one sigma bond and one pi bond. And so the next difference is the molecular formula. General molecular formula of alkanes is CnH2n plus 2. It was CnH2n plus 2. But in case of alkenes, so it is CnH2n. Observe it, right? So these are the major important difference. So in case of alkanes as well as alkenes. So nowhere they are asking the exam, but you must know. So whenever you find out the difference, then only there will be an clearer understanding between the two concepts. So in case of alkanes, the ending is A and E. Alkenes, it is E and E. Alkanes are saturated, alkenes are unsaturated. Alkanes are single bonded, alkenes are double bonded. So there is only presence of one sigma bond, and in case of alkenes, there is a presence of one sigma as well as one pi bond. And in case of alkanes, so it is having the general formula of CnH2n plus 2, and in case of alkenes, it is having the general formula of CnH2n, right? So that we have seen until now, right? So in case of alkenes, so we have seen the general information regarding to the alkenes, structure of the double bond and nomenclature, and regarding with the isomers, we have seen two types of isomers. One is structural isomer, second one is geometrical isomer. Okay, further if you go for the extended part of the isomerism in case of alkenes, so there are two isomers. One is called as structural isomerism, second one is called as geometrical isomerism. So in case of structural isomerism, what happens? So in case of structural isomerism, the compounds having same molecular formula but differ in their structure, right? So if the structure is different and the molecular formula is same, then these are called as structural isomers. So if you take an example of a but1ene, so here you can observe CH2 double bonded CH, CH2, CH3. So you can write, or you can shift this double bond here and you can convert this into CH3, right? So if you observe here, the same thing we have done. We have shifted this double bond to this carbon atom here. So then what happens? The same structure is converted into another structure, that is CH3, CH double bond has shifted to the second carbon atom. There is in between second and third. Here it is in between first and second. So therefore, the molecular formula is same, but there is a change in the structure of the molecule, then it is called as structural isomerism. Observe, this can be asked for 2 marks. Define structural isomerism with example. So the compounds having same molecular formula but differ in their structure are generally called as structural isomerism. If you observe here, but1ene is one example, and if you observe but2ene, that is also one example. So here, when you compare both, there is a double bond between the first carbon atom and the second carbon atom. In the second example, there is a double bond between the second carbon atom as well as third carbon atom. Therefore, we will call it as these two are the example for structural isomerism, because we can define that structural isomers are the compounds which are having same molecular formula but differ in the structure. There is a word within itself, there is a definition. Molecular formula is same but the structure is different. And there is one important note point, that is structural isomers are further classified into chain isomers as well as position isomers. So the extended part is not for your syllabus, but just remember it can be asked for CET. The structural isomers are further classified into two types. One is called as chain isomers, second one is called as position. In the word itself, we can define chain isomers means molecular formula is same, but the chain of carbon atoms is different. In case of position isomers, the molecular formula is same, but there is a change in the position of the attachment of any group. So that we'll call it as position isomer, right? So therefore, the main type is structural isomer. In that there are two subtypes. One is called as chain isomers. Second one is called as positional isomers. And if you go for the second type of isomers, so that is generally called as a geometrical isomer. So in case of geometrical isomers, the compounds having same molecular formula, again the definition is same. First line is always same in case of isomers. The compounds having same molecular formula but differ in their arrangement of atoms, which means geometry. The geometry is different, molecular formula is same. Then it is called as a geometrical isomers. So here if you observe, carbon-carbon double bonded and it is bonded with the two different substituent. Above both are X, below both are Y. If the same substituent is attacked on the same side, we will call it as a cis form. And if the same substituents are attacked on the opposite side or in the form of diagonal, if you observe here, this is diagonal, so then it is called as trans. So if we take an example of but2ene, so we'll get cis but2ene and trans but2ene, which means carbon-carbon double bonded. Here both CH3 are on the same side, we will call it as cis form. If both CH3 are on the opposite side, we will call it as trans form, right? So we'll do a bit of rough work here. So generally in case of isomers, already we have know what are isomers. So isomers are having the same molecular formula. Observe here, the first important word is molecular formula is same. The first important word is molecular formula is same, but differ in physical or chemical properties. Physical, it may be physical property or it may be chemical property, right? So these are called as isomers. So in case of alkenes, so generally we are talking about alkenes. So in case of alkenes, there are two types of isomers. One is called as structural isomers, right? So second one is called as geometrical isomers, right? So in case of structural isomers, so the molecular formula is same, MF is same, right? But there is a different structure. So this is called as structural isomers. So if you take an example of like this, carbon double bonded carbon, single bond, right? So here if you observe, so first carbon and second carbon are having the double bond, right? So the same structure I can convert into carbon, carbon, single bond, double bond carbon and single bond carbon. So here if you observe, first carbon, second carbon, third carbon and fourth carbon, and the second and third are having the double bond. Observe here. So the molecular formula is same. It also consists of 4 carbon atom. It also consists of 4 carbon atom. But here in the first example, first and second are having the double bond. In the second example, second and third are having the double bond. So therefore molecular formula is same, but the different structures are called as structural isomers. These are the example for structural. But in case of geometrical isomers, so here the molecular formula is same again. The molecular formula is same, but the geometry, that is arrangement of atom, is different. Geometry is different. So hence these are called as geometrical isomer. So in case of geometrical isomer, there are two types. One is cis form, another one is trans form. Cis means two substituent on same side. Two substituents on same side, which means two same substituents are on same side. So if the two same substituent are on opposite side are called as trans. Observe here. So for example, if I take carbon double bonded with carbon, so if there is an above, there is a formation of A, molecule A. Here also there is A. If it is bonded with B from bottom, so this is called as cis form because two same substituent are on the same side. First carbon is also having the A molecules at above. Second carbon is also having above, right? So this is called as cis form. If the carbon is double bonded and if A is above for one carbon atom and A is below for second carbon atom, and it is reverse, B is for here, B is for here, so then it is called as trans form. Correct? So because, so here A is above for first carbon atom and A is below for second carbon atom. So therefore this is called a trans form. So therefore on the basis of this I have written this example. So one is called as cis, that is but2ene, because CH3 are on the same side for the first carbon atom and the second carbon atom. In the second example, CH3 is on the above and CH3 is on the below. So that is called as trans form. So therefore but2ene is an example for cis form, that is geometrical isomerism. Second one is transform of butadiene is also example for geometrical isomers, right? So today we have seen the general information regarding with the conformations. So that is a structure, different structures of alkanes, and there are two types. One is Sohag's projection and Newman projection. So in that also we have seen two form. One is eclipse form, another one is staggered form. And further we have seen the alkenes. So that is double bonded carbon atoms, and which are also called as olefins, the general information. Along with that we have seen the structure as well as isomers. Along with that we have seen the nomenclature of alkenes. And in case of isomers, there are two types. One is called as structural, second one is called geometrical. So this geometrical can also be asked for 2 marks, and it is most repeated question for the annual examination. So you must draw both cis as well as transform, right? So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class. Thanks for joining.